Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Breaking Bitcoin Market Update. Hopefully everybody is doing fantastic today. Today is Friday, August 18th, 2023, foul year of our Lord. Hopefully you're doing absolutely fantastic. We have had a traumatic several days in the cryptocurrency markets, with Bitcoin losing a significant amount of its market capitalization and us seeing the biggest downturn and the largest liquidation event since the FTX collapse in last November. Bitcoin dropping from its support of 29,000 to currently trade slightly above 25,000, which is where we currently sit right now. Interestingly enough, this is our first significant level of support, so it will be more likely than not to see a bounce over the next couple of days, likely followed by continued downside. We'll give you guys an update on all of that, as well as the hottest coins in today's exciting episode. Let's get going. Oh yeah, we can do this all day long. All right, first thing, I want to give you guys an update on copy trading me on Fairdesk. All right, this is the big thing. We are pushing for this right now. We have been copy trading on Fairdesk for a little over a month now, and we have now, just so you guys can see this, I'm on Fairdesk right now. I'm going to go to copy trade, so this loads up fresh for you guys. Here, let's actually go somewhere different and then go back in so you guys can see. But I have now clawed my way to the first page of the 23 pages of copy trader. So I am now in the top 9 traders on Fairdesk. We can click on me. You guys are free to follow me. It is the first link in the description. You will need to deposit money into your exchange account and fund your copy trade account for this to work. You actually have to put money in there for me to trade with it. I have taken 17 total trades. I have won 17 total trades. So I do have a 100% hit rate for the last, well, for the entirety of the challenge that I've begun here now with Fairdesk. So things are going exceedingly well. I do know I have 16 of 60 followers. So let's try and get that jam-packed up, guys. Again, the link is in the description, and let's just go over some of my trades here real quick. I will be putting out a dedicated video. This has been significantly requested. So I am going to be putting out the next video that I do is going to be a full dedicated video to Fairdesk. I will go into my research about Fairdesk, how I came to decide to use them as my current exchange for trading derivatives. And then I will go over a little bit about Fairdesk, and then more specifically, what you guys have all been wanting for, a full guide and tutorial on my recommended settings for copy trading me. I'll go over exactly what kind of leverage I intend to use and have used for this challenge. I will go over all of that in detail so you guys feel more comfortable and confident depositing money to a new exchange and copy trading me, so that you guys can make money while you sleep, so that we can all do this well together. So just going over some of my trades here and just quickly summarizing. I know that I'm kind of in the way. So there we go. I'll just kind of bring that down. As you guys can see here, I am going for small positions. This is my day trading account, so you will be following me. This will be more active. As you guys can see, I'm using 7x leverage, not 25, not 50, not 10, not 5, 7. 7x leverage. So if you want to follow along with me, you can simply set the setting when you go into copy trade me. And again, I'll explain all this in intricate detail when I make the dedicated video that will probably be coming out either this weekend or on Monday. You guys can either choose to follow my leverage, or you can set 7x, or of course you can set your own. But I do just want to put out a significant portion of caution here, because if you go into my followers, you can see followers who have made significant amounts of money, and you can see followers who have lost money. And after talking with the individuals who have lost money, because these are all members of our Discord for the most part, after talking with the individuals who lost money, the majority of the situations in which the followers of mine have lost money, it is because they have their settings wrong. Okay, in general, they are utilizing a high level of leverage, and since I am using a small level of leverage, that means I'm comfortable with my trade oscillating between profit and not profit, going up and down until we finally reach the target profit or the stop loss, which we have not yet hit a stop loss yet. But if you use a 25x leverage or a 20x leverage, or God forbid a 50x leverage, following my trades thinking that you're going to strike big because I'm such a good trader, well, I'm sorry to tell you that you're going to get yourself liquidated. And that's exactly what's happened, because we've had some followers come on and follow me using high levels of leverage, not understanding that my trade is wider than the liquidation levels for a 25x trade, for example. So that is the reason that individuals have been losing money despite the spotless record. And Again, I hope that all that is cleared up. I know this is a bit of a learning process. This is new for me too. And I apologize for those who unfortunately have lost a little bit of money through this. Shout outs to those who have made quite a bit of money following me. And we're going to get this all figured out. But again, pretty impeccable, spotless record. As you can see here, looking anywhere from like $50. This is the lowest trade right here where I made $22. And generally looking for that $150, $100 mark, right? We've got a $200 trade here, $150, $150. Yeah. So that's my general range. That's my general range of what I'm looking for in a day trade. And quite simply, my strategy here is very simple. On the lower time frames here, I am utilizing a combination of my momentum strategy, which I'm taking those trades less frequently because I'm still putting together that full strategy for the LTS. But the one that I have right now is quite good. And mostly here, I'm just using a combination of bottom feeder, all right? I'm using a combination of bottom feeder and open interest analysis, utilizing Coinalyze. I like their free tools. They're absolutely fantastic. So just simply using our indicator here, bottom feeder, and looking for periods where bottom feeder fires in conjunction with a high volume spike and a significant decrease in open interest. Those are typically prime reversal spots. So we are trading the primary strategy as a reversal strategy, and then we are using the momentum strategy to a lesser degree. The smaller wins are going to be the reversal strategy because they're smaller, they're more consistent, it's a very tight P&L. With the momentum trades, those are where we're getting those larger profits, and we will be getting $1,000 wins, $2,000 wins, maybe more when we catch nice juicy trends. All right. Unfortunately, we had gone ahead. We were short for this dump, but we had set a very tight take profit. So we didn't get that $2,000 trade out of this move. This would have probably been like a $10,000 trade, to be quite honest with you. But yeah, we'll get those as time goes on. And that's just how trend following strategies go. Small win, small win, small win, small loss, small loss, small loss, big ass win that completely makes up for everything. So that's how trend following trading goes, and all that information will be documented in the video. And again, the link is down in the description if you guys want to copy trade me as well on Fairdesk. All right, moving right along from that, I did want to point out, let me pull up the Discord right here. Shout outs to all the members. Whoa, here we go. There we go. Shout outs to all the members of the premium trading group, the Kraken Cryptocurrency premium trading group. Give you guys a quick update. Of course, we have been crushing it with the bottom feeder signals. Bottom feeder has been just performing so well this year. I know that it's unfortunate. I know one of our members just came back and they hadn't traded in quite a while. And the first thing they did was they took 3 bottom feeder trades, and it was the first 3 losing trades in a minute. So apologies for that. It is a high hit rate strategy, so things are doing well. I did just want to point out, of course, that we did just have 4 losing trades in a row, and it wasn't really in a row. It's because we took we took some risk long on altcoins. And then of course the slip happened and it hit all our stop losses because the sell-off was quite significant. So that was at 2% risk per trade. That was an 8% loss of equity on the trading account. However, all is actually well if you're following along very closely, specifically with all of our positions, because we had taken this trade up here, not XRP. It's coming to, here we go. So this is a full risk position on BTC. I put out the hedge signal. I told individuals to hedge their account up. And what this means, these are scary positions, and I understand that. Taking these big hedge short positions can be very tricky, very scary for some individuals who aren't familiar and aren't comfortable with wide, big P&L swings. I understand that. We do have to understand how to do it appropriately. I've put out a lot of content on how to hedge properly, and this is a beautiful way to protect your equity and to actually make quite a bit of cash when you are utilizing proper risk management and you have access to something like derivatives, right? Continuous open-ended derivatives, non-expiration derivatives. These are what make all of this. This is what makes the hedging possible. All right. And so for those of you who are a little unfamiliar with this, when we hedge, we are hedging. So we hold our value in BTC. We're long-term believers in BTC, and we fundamentally believe that one of the safest places to hold your wealth long-term, if you have the long view, is in BTC. So we value our trading account in terms of BTC. Now, when we take a hedge short, we are essentially saying that, okay, well, we're in crypto. We have full market exposure to crypto. You can either hedge, you can hedge one of 2 ways. You can hedge the boring and conservative way, which is fine. I say boring. I don't mean any grift there, but hedging, of course, just means the very conservative way would just simply mean to sell into cash. All right. Exit all of your Bitcoin positions, even long-term positions, hold into cash, and then wait until you get the buy signal, and then you buy back in. Okay, that's absolutely fine. I don't think that needs a lot of explanation. It's relatively straightforward. Just when you think that the market is bearish, sell into cash. When you think the market is bullish, buy into Bitcoin. But when we have a hedge short, what we want to do is we want to hold our BTC. We don't want to sell our BTC because God forbid we get into a situation where we sell our BTC and then price pumps, we were wrong, and then we've got to buy back at a higher price. We don't want to do that. It's demoralizing. It wastes a lot of time. It's just not an efficient way to do things. So what we want to do instead is we actually want to hold our value in BTC, and then we want to use that BTC as leverage, as collateral on an inverse perpetual futures exchange to take a short position. Now, the beautiful thing about doing it this way is that you are essentially in a beautiful, very low risk situation. All right. Now, the position is going to be very large. So there's going to be wild swings. So it's absolutely essential that you use the correct amount of leverage. I like to use 3x leverage. And with 3x leverage, what that means is that I can deposit, of all my BTC that I keep in cold storage, I can deposit just 1/3 of my BTC onto the exchange. I can use 3x leverage to take the full position size. And then I've got such a margin of error to even consider being liquidated. Now, here's the beautiful thing. With the hedge short, if price goes up and you're wrong, you are losing money, you're losing dollars, okay, so to speak. You will see a red, you're losing money as price goes up and you're short. On your position. But the thing is, the intrinsic value, the underlying value, the market value of that BTC that you're using as collateral is rising to the same degree because you're doing a 1-to-1 short. All right. Which means if price moves up on your hedge short, it doesn't matter what dollar loss that you're seeing. You haven't lost any BTC and you haven't actually lost any USD value because the value of your position is actually going up with the market because you're holding the BTC. So when you close the position out, you lose a little bit of BTC, right? Quantity of BTC, but you don't lose any of the dollar value of that BTC. All right. You just got a little less than if you close your position at a loss. And the beautiful thing is that as the market goes down, you are actually not making any USD because the profits on your position are just covering the losses on the market value of your position. Very similar to what we were talking about if the market goes up. But when you close your position out, you get a significant larger, you now have a greater quantity of BTC. All right, you have a greater quantity of BTC, and that means that when the market does rise again, you're going to get that lion's share, that huge expounding effect, that exponential effect on your holdings. So this is the way that I hedge. This is the way that I've taught to hedge for a long time. Of course, you can just simply take short positions and hold into cash. You know, it's whatever your risk preference and tolerance is. But that is the beauty of essentially the spot short, of the spot holding short, and that whole system and strategy. Okay, with that out of the way, let's break the market down, guys. Happy Friday to you as well, Alex. Okay, weekly time frame on BTC. All right, weekly time frame on BTC. We have now made a significant advancement into bearish territory with this big, almost 11% candle on the weekly. We did, of course, experience a mass loss this week of about 15%. We've rebounded a little bit since then. So overall, life is not too bad. Of course, this is the most significant dump that we've seen since the November dump. And these candles are very similar, fully bearish engulfing candles. And what's also similar about this is that the November collapse of FTX chunked us all the way down right to the Hall 60 MA. So this is a beautiful reversal baseline bounce setup anywhere that you want to look at it. And over here, this is a little bit different. This is looking like initiation of trend. So we have to consider a couple of things here. One, we do have this support level here, and I've marked it off with this horizontal red line on my chart. So this is our first level of support. This was the previous level of support, right? So we have pump up, you know, a little bit of consolidation, pull back. We find support here at previous resistance, and then we push off to a new high. And now we've pulled back, not to a previous level of resistance. So this is significantly less bullish than over here. When you tap resistance as support, or excuse me, when you do an SR flip of resistance, that's quite bullish because you're breaking above resistance, you're pulling back to that same level of resistance, and then you push off again. And that's quite bullish, as we can see, right? Boom, bam. We had a nice 15% markup following that, and then a whole month and a half to take profits, guys. A whole month and a half to take profits on one weekly candle. And so the fact that we've returned to a previous level of support, not resistance turn support, but just a previous level of support, is okay. But this is significantly less bullish. And this this does not bode significantly well. This is not the market structure that we want to see for continued bullish advancement, which of course we were talking about. If we were to see any kind of weekly or daily breaks of 30K, we didn't get that even on this scam pump, right? Even on the scam pump that occurred last week, it wasn't convincing. And you guys will recall, we'll go back to the daily time frame. We talked about this right here. We talked about this daily candle. And we were very cautious. We didn't go long. We talked about it. We said, hey, if we keep going, yes, we'll go long. So if this following candle, if this candle right here on August the 9th would have been green, I probably would have longed this, but it wasn't. There's a difference between breaking out and just chopping, right? This is just chopping, right? Just continue to angle down, grind down, and then of course, blow down. This is interesting. It doesn't really mean anything, but you guys will recall that I had drawn this head and shoulders pattern back over here in April. Of course, that didn't really play out. We did drift down, of course, and almost hit our target, but it didn't happen. But I did want to point out something just kind of interesting with charting patterns is that when using the head and shoulders tool on TradingView does project this diagonal trend line forward into the future, and that's exactly where price found support. So I just wanted to point that out. Like, I didn't draw this line today. This line has been on my chart since April, and so it's just kind of interesting how price went down. Shout outs to Edward Park, good to see you, my friend. Alex says, in retrospect, the 31.7 thousand level was the perfect top, as it's basically the level at which if you 2x leverage short, you couldn't have a stop loss above the 15.4K bottom without being liquidated. Which if you 2x leverage short. Yes. Wait, what? Well, I'm glad that you followed along with me, brother. Okay. All right, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. All right. So what does this mean? This doesn't mean anything. I mean, it is interesting, of course, that we have this diagonal trend line projected. Diagonal trend lines are fine in crypto. Bitcoin does like diagonal trend lines. This is why triangles are is such an effective trading pattern. With BTC, ascending triangles, descending triangles have a high success rate. Bull flags, pennants, symmetrical triangles too, to a lesser degree. I don't really think this means anything. It's just interesting. Okay. So daily time frame, were we done on the weekly? I think we're done on the weekly. Yeah. So, I mean, just the projection here is, of course, continued bearishness. We are, of course, at that level of support. So I'm not going to be surprised to see a bit of a bounce back up. And I think that'll be more clear on the daily. There's a number of ways we could draw potential retracement here. You know, either from here to here. Let's see, what do we do here? Yeah, we basically had a 50% retracement there. And so if we plotted from here to here, we could be seeing 27,719. That would be a 50% retracement of this dump. That would also be previous resistance as well. So I do like that area. You know, obviously potential golden pocket retracement as well is a possibility. We are extremely oversold on the daily. And we are at that diagonal trend line, which is also, I'm just very reminiscent of horizontal support as well, right? This is horizontal support. So let's just not mince words. It is horizontal support. So yeah, so a nice push off. And this is, you know, obviously this is making progress, but we haven't made any new lows, right? Like extreme bearishness is when we're actively making new lows. And as you can see, like this candle is a bit of an inside bar candle where it only exists within the previous wick of the preceding candle. So this current daily candle is significantly less bearish than this candle, right? This is just a full, like, scary, bearish engulfing fuck you candle. Pardon my French. And where this is a more of an indecision doji, right? Like it's a fat bodied doji, right? It is continuing in the direction of the previous momentum. But given the fact that we're at support, I would not be surprised to see a bit of a respite here in a couple of days to the upside. Now, what should we do with that? Like, what should we do with that potential information? Should we close our hedges? I don't really think so. I don't think that's appropriate at this point in time. And that is the gamble of the hedge. I mean, you really are looking for a big move. Now, for those of you who are comfortable, like closing out your hedge, taking your profits and just sitting in cash, you know, because you don't want to maybe get in a position, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Like when you get a good trade and you've got a good position, like there's nothing wrong with cashing in on that, right? You're not gonna go broke taking profit. But what it does mean is that maybe we look for opportunities to the upside here. And if Bitcoin is going to see a rise here, then that means altcoins are probably on the table also. So big dump and the question is just like, how are we treating this dump? Are we scooping up coins? Are we buying? So I'm obviously very risk averse to going very long on altcoins here. And of course, that's always going to be a psychological feeling. I just had 4 losing trades in a row on altcoins. So I'm not really eager to just like, oh, let's hop back in. But if you don't take the risk, then you're never going to get the rewards. So we will do our analysis here and see potentially what is on the table here. All right, 4-hour time frame. This is actually how I got today's day trade. I just winged it on the 4-hour time frame here. We just saw this big decline, and what I saw was that price had essentially here with more granularity. You can see this is daily candle. I just returned back down to that horizontal level of support I had marked out, and I was expecting just to see a little bit of a rise. So I took the position, and an easy $200, right? So life's not bad. If you 2x leverage long, okay, yes, Alex, thank you. I was getting a little. I was like, well, I don't understand. Like, what is let's see here. Caprica says Elon sold BTC. So that is a rumor that was going around. So why did we dump, right? Well, obviously there were more sellers than buyers. That's always the case, right? Show me the chart and I'll tell you the news. But there is this persistent rumor. And let me see if I can't track it down. I should just be able to go here. And I mean, I should just be able to like search for it on Twitter, right? Or Elon. Yeah, Elon sells BTC Twitter. Here we go. So this is just from Bazinga. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So this is from what I understand. So this article is pretty accurate, and what this article is saying, and this is what was circulating around Twitter. So yesterday, the Wall Street Journal put out a report, and it said that SpaceX had $373 million of the Bitcoin on its balance sheets, but that they were going to be selling their holdings. So that was the rumor. The Wall Street Journal put out that SpaceX was going to sell their Bitcoin holdings. And from what I understand, that's actually not the case. What SpaceX did is they simply just wrote down the value of their BTC holdings with no intention to sell. So there's no evidence that they have sold or that they are going to sell, but that rumor percolated around the cryptocurrency markets, and then of course we had the sell-off, and then the sell-off essentially stopped when Bloomberg announced that the SEC was going to be approving Ethereum-based futures. All right, or that not that they would necessarily approve it, but that they would not resist it. Okay, we have to the best of my knowledge, 3 individual applications for the Ethereum ETF, for the Ethereum futures-based ETF. Okay, so good things for price. Good things for price. I know that some individuals have said that they don't think that the ETFs are going to have a significant impact on price, and I absolutely think it will. I think those people are completely wrong. So yeah, that's the situation there. So just rumors, fear and greed. We are in the fear portion of the market now. So let's keep this very simple. On the daily time frame, do we see any trading signals? We do not, right? Of course, we did get the short signal right here. This is a PTP short signal. What happens? We are breaking down below the daily baseline. Minx is crossing below 0, and we also have a rising WADA with a rising explosion level. So beautiful short signal right there. And we can just go back in time actually and see how well that exactly would have done. So we'll just bring up Quadriga and we'll go short. And yeah, so Quadriga at that time was calling for targets of 28,217, 27,704, and 27,190. Of course, it's very simple to just see that we have absolutely smashed through all of those take profit targets, because we did trade down as low on Binance of 25,166. So that's the current low. That's the market low. Taking that out is going to be relatively bad at this point in time for the bulls. And I don't think that's going to happen immediately. I do think that we push up here. Not new highs, but 50% retracement, 30% retracement, something like that. This is just a good logical dropping off point. Now, it probably won't happen right away. Probably won't happen right away. And this is what's so difficult. I think this is what makes trading difficult, right? This is what makes trading difficult for some, right? Because I know traders who, apply the KISS strategy in every aspect of the trading, like keep it simple, stupid. And the point is buying here, right? So most traders would look at this area and be like, okay, we're at support, I'm going to buy. And then what they want is that as soon as they buy, they want to see price go up and they want to see price go to their take profit target. Now, don't deny this. This is what every single trader, especially beginner traders, this is what every single trader has running through their mind when they take a trade. I've entered a trade, we're at support, price should go up now. Or at least I want price to go up now. And traders, especially newer traders, can get very uncomfortable when price does this instead, right? Like, oh, it goes a little bit and then it comes back down. And then, oh, a little bit and then it comes back down. That kind of chop, when you've positioned yourself, is deadly, right? Is deadly. And it's very difficult emotionally and psychologically for traders to deal with that type of situation. What you need to do is, it needs to be part of your strategy, all right? So we've established a level of support. Okay, let's do that. Now we've established a level of support. So we want to find a juicy spot in this area of support to buy that's going to make us feel confident in our position. So what is that going to mean? Well, if we're trading to the long side, that means we got to get it as cheap as we can. We have to get it as low as we possibly can, such that we feel decent about the price swings, because then the extreme price swings will have a significantly less impact on us, right? So like, let's say price is trading in a range like this, okay? And if you enter here somewhere in the middle, if you diddle in the middle, then when we are at the trough, the lowest point down here, you're going to be in max pain. And when we're up here at the peak, you are going to be in max happiness. Now contrast that, same thing, contrast that with the same range, and you are patient and you enter down here. All right. So notice the difference. You might be down like $500, $1,000, something down here when you enter in the middle. But if you're patient and you try to snipe the bottom, then you are going to be twice as more profitable up here at the peak. And you're also going to be just as profitable here in the middle as the impatient trader was up at the top. So this is important. Okay. When you are looking for a steal buy, all right, you need to have a couple of things. One, you got to have conviction in your price level, okay? And you also need to be able to adjust that conviction based on emerging data, all right? So what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is that when you're in that range, when you've made your buy, step one, identify support, okay? Step two, go to a lower time frame and identify a juicy buying area, right? So now if we go down to the 15, so we've identified support. So now if we go down to the 15-minute time frame, we can see this was a nice juicy spot, all right? Nice oversold area of the market. Yeah, so this was a nice juicy spot. This obviously was a nice juicy spot as well. So now we're up here. What is the level of confidence, or what is the likelihood that the price is just going to rocket from here and that there's going to be none of this? Okay. It's not very likely. Okay. It's not very likely. The market only trends like 5% of the time, 20% of the time. So we need to be cautious about that. And I think if you guys can just try to apply some of these strategies into your actual trading and write these things down, you're going to feel so much better about your trades. You're going to have so fewer losses and you're going to have more winners, because you're going to feel confidence in your position. The majority of mistakes are going to happen when you mess with your trade in the moment. When you enter, and then either those swings, you make emotional decision making, right? The P&L forces you to make an emotional decision. Okay. Player 77 over on Twitch says, if BTC closes the weekly candle below the 21 EMA, then is this run over? Well, okay, so listen. I'm very skeptical about statements like that because I don't know, right? What I certainly can tell you is that, so I don't know about the EMA 21 because I haven't done my research on the EMA 21. But what I will tell you is that, for example, on the weekly time frame with the Hall moving average 60, 85% of the time when we close the weekly below the Hall 60, we continue moving downwards, right? And that's already happened, right? We closed below the Hall 60 last weekly candle. That's why we're hedged short. So with that being said, you could do the same level of analysis on the EMA 21 and say, okay, of the time, of all the times that we close below the EMA 21 on the weekly, how often do we continue heading south? And I would bet, of course, since Bitcoin is a trending asset, that it's very high, that it's a very high. So based on that, statistically, yes, if we close below the EMA 21, then more than likely this run is over. Just same as if we close below the Hall moving average 60, more than likely this run is over. Now, the real market is not as concrete as that because there are so many situations where we dip, and then just skyrocket back up. This is Bitcoin. This is what makes it exciting. This is what makes it lovely. I mean, what I can tell you, at the end of the day, you're never going to be able to figure all that out. You're never going to know which way the market's going to go. So you do want to trade in the vein of statistics. You want to trade with statistical weight on your side. You want to have the most opportunity for success that you possibly can. So developing a strategy based on statistics and market data is the way to go. Trying this random stuff. I've been trying to, for years, guys. I've been, trying to educate you guys and successfully too. Like, you guys are amazing. But, most traders want to be shielded from harm. They don't want to reap the consequences of their decisions. They don't want to be responsible for their equity. And yeah, I'm ranting a little bit, but hey, I digress. So if price closes below the EMA 21, more than likely, yes, this run is over. And this also, of course, just getting back into like what I believe, Bitcoin, I believe in the 4-year cycle hypothesis. That is my current hypothesis about the market. So what we've seen is a capitulation bottom. We've seen a run up. Some people call this a bump and run. That's fine, whatever. And what happens next is we get a sell off, basically back down to our capitulation bottom, but not lower than our capitulation bottom. And then that usually is concluded with a very large red candle. This is exactly what happened back. So I'll show you the last one. This is the March meltdown back in March of 2020. Notice, again, we had a bear market, capitulation bottom, rally, sell off, almost back down to the capitulation low, but not quite. And then here is the culmination of the sell off, and that is the bottom of the market. And then we just run. And we pump into the halving, we pump past the halving, we pump for about a year following the halving. So that's basically what we're looking at. Okay. And yeah, and that would bring price down to about $18,000, $20,000. That's my current projection for price. If we are experiencing the sell down, 18 to 20,000. So we can hold head shorts till 18 to 20,000 and then reposition. But the bigger picture too, and I don't want us to lose sight of this for Bitcoin investors, is that, everyone wants to DCA on the way up, but nobody wants to DCA on the way down. This is the opportunity for you guys to accumulate a spot Bitcoin position that you can then later diversify into altcoins when the market favors altcoins. Okay. This is the time for you to do that, right? This is the time to begin dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin for the casual investor. Mr. Ether Robert Warner hedged. Good to you, my brother. Alex says, yesterday in one daily candle, we lost the 100, 200 daily, 200 weekly, 100 weekly, 55 weekly, 21. Might be new, right? We lost them all. Big and Tall says, if we close below the EMA 21, I'm reducing portfolio positions, then look for buy signal jumping in. And that is a perfectly reasonable way to do this. Yes, that is exactly right. Yes. When the evidence suggests that the market is going to go down, you have to take action. When the market suggests that the market is going to move up, when evidence suggests that the market is going to move up, you need to take action. Otherwise, you're not going to get any reward. You don't get paid sitting on the sidelines. You don't get paid sitting on the sidelines, guys. Okay. So Bitcoin does look very interesting here. We are at support. I would like to do a couple scoop buys here. And we already took a little small long position here, and that's already played out. I can see going long here. There's absolutely nothing wrong with this per se. We do like have a 15-minute long signal here. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I just think it's more than likely that we're going to consolidate here prior to a really pronounced pump. So I think you guys are fine waiting on the sidelines or looking for a better opportunity. And if you enter here, that's absolutely fine. Like you can take this trade, this breakout trade. A breakout trade is predicated on immediate movement, okay? As opposed to kind of a reversal or positional buy trade, which is what we were discussing earlier. So in this situation, you could buy long here and then use the Hall 60 as your invalidation. If we close below this, you get out of the trade. And what is beautiful about that, this early stop loss system that I utilize, is that it takes the sting out of your losing trades, because if your stop loss is like down here and you close here, well, you're losing significantly less money. So that's really all I have to say about that. Very simple. What do we want to do here? Do we want to take this? Probably not. I'm not really going to mess with my copy trade P&L. I don't want to mess with that too much. Okay. Also, I want to talk to you guys about something. I am thinking about doing something maybe a little controversial with the stream. So of course, we've got a big following on YouTube, and that's the biggest following. But the thing is, YouTube is not well set up to reward viewers. So I am kicking around ideas of doing the stream only live on a platform like Twitch or Kick. Those are the ideas I'm currently playing around with right now. And then just reposting to YouTube. So I think that's obviously that's what I see all the other channels do. Of course, there are some bigger channels that do stream on YouTube, and I don't want to lose like the largest part of our audience, but I also want to get back to a system where I can actively reward those who are supporting the stream. So and YouTube just isn't well set up to do that. So let me know your guys' thoughts on that. I know obviously it's going to start off a little bit smaller, and we'll have to kind of build the audience wherever we decide to go. And, obviously I'm concerned about Twitch because, rumor is on the streets is that Twitch is a bit of a dying platform, but people say that stuff. So I'm just not 100% sure. But either way, the shows will be on YouTube. But the nice thing about that too is that on YouTube, I'll be able to edit them a little bit better and like do some set pieces and do some skits and all that kind of stuff, which I enjoy doing. So I think that's the route I'm going to go. And yeah, just let me know what you guys think about that. All right. Okay, so that's housekeeping out of the way. Let's talk about, what do we want to talk about? I mean, that's basically all we've got for today, guys. That's where we're at with the market. I think that if you are going to be picking up some BTC positions here, you can consider altcoin positions. I do want to talk about Avalanche, AVAX USDT. Now, AVAX is going to be doing a token unlocking for the next 8 days, and historically, we can see that AVAX has had a really big sell-off here, and we shrunk down right to this level of support. So this is AVAX is looking very juicy here, and I think we could get AVAX all the way back up to 1225. Not too difficult here, I think, to get AVAX to pump through the token unlocking. And that is, that is interesting to say that, because you might logically think that, well, token unlocking, that means that tokens are going to be unlocked. It's like $102 million, and that's going to be sold onto the market. But interestingly enough, if you go look at the previous historic token unlocks for Avalanche, Avalanche pumps through almost every single token unlock. So this is very interesting. Yeah, yes. So I'm thinking about, Twitch and DLive. Yeah, DLive definitely a platform to consider. The thing is, at the end of the day, I think to grow the stream, I've got to pick a dedicated platform, and then we just stream to that. So I'm not perfect at this, you guys might think. But yeah, those are all things I'm considering. Yeah, DLive, Twitch, Kick, Rumble. Kick and Rumble are obviously relatively new. I see that a lot of streamers are moving over to Kick. And they do have a good incentive program to reward content creators. And then, of course, like we will be posting to YouTube. This is just where we have to build the audience. But, you know, I don't really necessarily believe that the way that we're streaming to YouTube is the best way to grow the channel. I don't believe that. Anyways, yeah, so Avalanche currently at like 1075. And I'm thinking that Avalanche is probably the trade here. It's got the fundamentals, and it's just the kind of thing that we've got going on. And with Bitcoin at support, if Bitcoin does just consolidate here, that will give altcoins a little bit of room to breathe, and allow the intrinsic fundamentals of said altcoins to really shine. Now, I could be completely wrong about this, and we just continue like with the swiftness heading south. But Avalanche is definitely on my radar, and a similar concept to what we were talking about earlier when looking for, you know, when trying to establish a position in a juicy area. I mean, this to me is very juicy, and I would feel comfortable holding this position through some P&L swings. Now, obviously, making a new low and we're right out of the market. But the attractive thing about that is that we're only like 5% away from making a new low. So Avalanche is actually a very attractive right now, because we've got such a tight invalidation area, and we've already kind of had this capitulation candle right here. Obviously, this is a more severe one, but this is also a capitulation candle. High volume, bottom of the movement at support. It's just a very logical area to look for a pump. So I think that we're going to scoop up Avalanche. And the other, of course, token of note that we could talk about is, of course, Rune. Rune has just continued to pump. So very strong. Rune, very strong. Completely bypassing the previous level of resistance, and shooting all the way up here to real resistance, right? Like this is actual like market swing resistance, right? So very interesting here with Rune. We haven't been able to make significant forward progress, and this is now starting to look, of course, dangerous because we've got these very tall wicks to the upside. And without lack of progress, this is probably looking pretty toppy. Rune is looking pretty toppy. I know that I did say that down here, but I was just wrong. This does look substantially different. We've got these big wicks now to the upside, and we do now have very firm resistance around $1.60. So just beautiful pump from Rune and Thorchain, and we'll just see it kind of where this goes. I just feel like the market conditions aren't quite right to continue tearing through, not without some consolidation and a more significant pullback here. So we can, of course, short Rune. We can, of course, short Rune, I do believe. The question is where. Okay. So probably, yeah. So KuCoin, Binance, Gate, Kraken. Do not believe that we are on Binance. No. No. So we are not on Binance, or excuse me, Bybit. Excuse me. We're not on Bybit, but we do have options to short Thor. If and when that situation does arise. Weekly time frame for Thor. Daily time frame for Thor. Yeah. Looking pretty sus here. Overbought, warning signals, trading outside of the Bollinger Bands and then back within. This would generally be the time. Like we've now pushed back up to resistance of the Bollinger Bands. This would generally be the time to look for that position. Right? So I do like this. I do like this idea. And I like the idea of longing Avalanche. I do like both of these simultaneously. That's what I think. Oh, Don Cannon, thank you so much for the 20 Noaks, man. A donation to those who got wrecked. Bitcoin dominance dropped below 50%. Caprica says. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah. And let's look at here we go. And of course, Tether dominance increasing, going from 7.28% to 8.9%. So yeah, very, very significant increase in Tether market capitalization. Okay. And also, guys, Tether market capitalization is also tradable. Essentially, when we, you can mark out, you can see here that the Tether dominance has been trading in a range going back to May. And essentially, every time we're at support, the market dumps. And every time we're at resistance, the market pumps. So Tether dominance moving down means risk on assets are going up. People are selling cash to buy. So yeah, looking at Tether dominance can be very, 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 very helpful. And we're just not quite at that resistance level yet. Of course, we have like turned around here. So we'll see. But yeah, Tether dominance is very helpful. You can, use a moving average here as well to help you identify these swings. So very simply, like, yeah. So here's a PTP method of doing it, right? And what's nice about this is that it's not very choppy. This thing has pretty nice, well-defined trends, which is very, very helpful. So Tether dominance, absolutely a way that you can identify whether you should be risk on or off. Is very helpful. No need to look at candles. Line chart is absolutely fine. All right. All right. That's pretty much, that's where we're going to leave it, guys. I'm going to go ahead and get offline now. I'm going to start recording the Fair Desk video. I know there's just been a lot of questions about that, so I'm going to walk you guys all through that. And yeah, that's how we're going to do it, guys. All right. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me for another exciting episode of the Breaking Bitcoin Market Update. So many ways to get involved with the community. Obviously, if you enjoy this content, make sure to subscribe and like the video. If you share it around, it's the only way the YouTube algorithm notices us, and it really does help us out more than you guys could possibly imagine. If you guys are interested in improving your trading skills, consider joining the premium trading group. You're going to get access to everything that we offer. A full description's on the website. You can find the link down in the description. You can also copy trade me for free on Fairdesk, or you can go download my free guide, The 5 Mistakes Holding You Back from Profitable Trading. All the links for that are down in the description. Many ways to get involved in the community. We will be back on Monday with another Breaking Bitcoin Market Update. So hopefully you guys can just not get liquidated over the weekends, and we're going to be just fine. So nothing crazy. It's probably going to be a wild weekend. I'm not going to lie. So if you guys are don't have plans for the weekend, strap yourselves in. And you guys can look for that dedicated video coming out either this weekend or on Monday as well, regarding Fairdesk. All right. Links down in the description, everything you possibly need. And I will see you guys on the next one. Cheers.